Welcome to the podcast. My name's Skip Clark, Skip Happens podcast host, along with Skip Happens podcast co-host Deb Lamphere, president and founder of the official country music fan club. This is the podcast that will bring you the stories. We will interview the incredible up-and-coming artists out of Music City. Also, we chat with the big stars, and we talk about their journey to stardom. We also love talking to entrepreneurs. Not only that, it's people like you and I. That's all. And just remember, Skip out of Music City. Let's get right to the podcast.
I love it.
Get over it. That's all. We know Skip Happens. Hi, everybody. Skip Clark, Deb Lamphere. And of course, a brand new up and coming. Actually, I don't know if she's brand new. She's been doing this a long time, but I guess in a sense she is new, up and coming, and one of our future stars. I want y'all to say hello to Bailey Callahan. Hello, Bailey. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing so good. How are you?
Well,
doing fine. Doing good. No snow yet, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's good. I'm trying to share this on Facebook right now.
Okay. We can wait.
No, you're totally fine. I don't think it's like gone on Facebook yet.
The Country Music Fan Club has a watch party going. Can you chime into that? And if you can't, you could try Skip's Facebook page. Okay, perfect. I want to make sure we can get everybody on. We want everybody out there.
We want everybody on.
This woman is a social media expert. I can tell already.
I'm definitely not. But I appreciate you thinking that.
Well, Deb was saying before we went on air, you had like 45,000 followers on Facebook or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, it's crazy. I definitely I've been doing this since I was really 9, and just from there, my life has changed so much. This year has changed my life, just in these 365 days. So I just feel so grateful for everything.
Were you able to get that up?
It's still not on Facebook, but I'm just gonna keep an eye on it and then I'll share it.
All right, very cool, very cool. Bailey Callahan, can you just tell us where are you and describe your surroundings a little bit?
Yeah, sure. So I'm currently in Nashville. I had to kind of take a second to be like, where am I? Because I've been all over lately. But I'm currently just chilling in my room. I figured we'd get nice and casual and relaxed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so I'm here. Just my bed, TV dresser.
It looks very cozy.
I know, exactly.
I really prioritized with where I wanted to live. That at the end of the day, I work so hard, and I always end up flying home, and I'm exhausted just from everything. And I just wanted a great place to come home to. That was really what I prioritized. So thank you.
Where is home?
Home is a little bit north of Nashville. I'm more of like a suburbs kind of gal myself. I love the city, but I'm only 15 minutes from there. And so I'm still pretty central, but I have the land that I want. So that's good.
Oh. So you're in a house there.
I am. Yeah.
Good for you.
Thank you so much. I lived here by myself for about a little over a year. And then I just realized I wanted to embrace gal pals. And so I just got a roommate, and we've just been really having a great time.
Go ahead.
They're talking about having a good time. And before we went on the air with the mics, not only did we talk about your Facebook and the 45,000 followers, but the fact that the Bachelorette is on tonight. Yes. And you guys are recording it. So when we get done with this, all you girls can get together and watch it. Yeah.
It was honestly, this might sound just totally cheesy, but I had this whole routine prior to the roommate that I would have my little sparkling non-alcoholic wine or whatever you call it, and then I would have my face mask and some kind of spa remedy while I was watching it. So we're really just passing on their tradition.
I love it.
I can't believe how many people really get into that show, especially your generation.
Yes, I don't want to say I'm obsessed with it because I don't want to be stereotypical, but I definitely get very involved in it.
So one of my team members, Alana, has a podcast that she does with her brother, and they talk about The Bachelorette. And
do they?
Every week after it's on and all this other stuff. And I'm like, boy, you guys really get into this stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
I met these girls that I really was not too familiar with, but we had just kind of started becoming friends. And they asked if I wanted to be in like a bachelor pool. And so you pretty much like your name, you randomly get like affiliated with one of the girls that was, you know, on last season's. And if you get booted off, you lose. But if you're the girl that like sticks through to like the proposal, then you get all the money.
Oh, how cool.
I know. That's what people do.
Well, they do
a lot of creativity.
Yeah.
No.
You know, I know a lot of guys that were watching that too. As I was talking, we'd go into work after watching an episode last season, and the guys would be talking about what happened, and all the girls would be looking at us like, "Are you guys really watching that?" Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting, I guess. I don't know.
Yes.
You know, reality television is what it is, and there's a lot of that.
Yes.
Let's talk about you a little bit more. How long have you been playing music? You said like back in your 8 or 9 years old.
Yeah, it's weird because I've been playing guitar since I was 8, and then I really got my first paid gig when I was like 10, 11. So I kind of had the realization not too long ago that, wow, I've literally been doing this half of my life. So I go way back.
And how did you get all motivated to do that at such a young age?
Yeah, I just think that, I mean, now I know why I was motivated and why I'm still motivated. But back then, I think it was just such a passion for me. I think that I was really influenced by Taylor Swift and writing about my feelings and whatever. And my life did change. I had to grow up like really quickly at a really early age. And so I think that I had a lot to like write about at that time. And I was doing a lot of things that most people my age weren't. And so I was also bullied. And so I think writing was a really big outlet for me. And I know that that's what kind of kept me going for a while. But then almost like I was 13 or 14 and I felt I was on tour. I was touring to New York. I was, going to Georgia and meeting kids that were my age. And I think that influenced it a little more. And then progressively over time, one thing led to another, and the motivation and the passion just kept building. And now we're just like a freight train that's not stopping.
Not stopping at all. So did your parents bring you around at 13 and 14 years old to these places to perform?
So I initially got started I grew up playing Guitar Hero. And my dad, to this day, my dad and I's biggest thing, like bonding, is we listen to music together. And so that's like where where it originated for me. But my grandma made a bet with the first grandchild to learn how to play a musical instrument would get money. And so I was 8. I was like, well, heck yeah, I'm going to do this. And I did it. And then the Taylor Swift came on and everything like that, and so on and so forth. But my mom's so cute. I remember we were at a Demi Lovato concert. When she was still with Disney, so super, young. And I remember I was so nervous the whole night. And I finally told her that that's what I want to do for a living. And she looked at me and she was like, okay. And from there, she just, everything, like any reason that she can fly to Nashville, she'll come to Nashville. Or, I tour a lot to Gatlinburg. And she loves Gatlinburg, so she'll go with me and we'll do all the touristy things. And it's she's really like my best friend, so it's nice to have her on.
Awesome.
It still baffles me how there are some artists that we have met that, like yourself, their parents supported them at such a young age, and how many times as young children growing up, we say, oh, I want to be a doctor. Oh, this week I want to be a lawyer. Yeah. Oh, I want to be an actor. So you never really know if your child is really serious about making that career life choice at such a young age.
Well, I definitely was the same way as far as like the normal kind of kid aspirations. Like I wanted to be an astronaut. And for me, the biggest conflict was if I was going to be an athlete or a singer, because I a runner. I was like 3rd in state for running. I have really long legs, so I'm super tall. And then I even wanted
lucky.
I wanted to play. I played lacrosse. I wanted to be the first quarterback at my high school, like first girl quarterback at my high school, and so that was the biggest struggle for me. But I knew that at the end of the day, like singing was what was going to set me apart, and so I'm here. I chose singing, so I think I'm doing good.
Yeah, very good. Wow. I mean, you were like more or less like a tomboy.
I was very much a tomboy.
Yeah.
I mean, to this day, like I definitely, dress girlier and whatever, but I definitely think I'm still like one of the guys. So, I don't know. I think I love that. I'm just not like a girly girl. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You totally do not look like a tomboy. I will tell you that. You are absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
How tall are you?
I'm 6 feet.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I had back surgery about almost 3 years ago.
I was going to ask you about that. It's some complicated back surgery, and you've got a couple of pins in your back, and but you seem to be.
I'm okay. I had scoliosis, so they straightened my spine. I grew 3 inches. So that was a little crazy, but that was literally 5 days before senior year of high school. So I think that was the most traumatic thing for me. I'm doing fine. It's just more, it's just more of the fact of like trying to deal with it because, as you're evolving and growing up, your body's constantly changing. So that's the biggest thing for me. But yeah.
Right. You're still so young, just under 21. You're just getting started, even though you started back when you were 9 or 10. Reality is you're just getting started. Although you were touring at the age of 14, and now here you are in Nashville going after your dream.
Yeah.
But then just when you're ready to head out of that gate, COVID sets in and the quarantine and all that. How did that work for you?
Well, to backtrack a little bit, I moved to Nashville a week after high school. And so as we talked about before we went live, I had a lot of complications when I first moved to town. And so for me, it was really like the path of figuring out who I was and what I had to say. And so when I finally figured that out, that was about the same time last year. And I wrote a song called Roll. And so Roll got released this February. And I swear, if all it took was me figuring out my voice and, trying to not be compared to as like the 15-year-old that came to town when I did. And my life, I should have done this a long time ago because the single came out in February. I got to perform at House of Blues. I opened up for Luke Bryan, and I opened up for a lot of people. No, actually, COVID ruined it. Yeah, I was supposed to open up for Eric Church and Toby Keith and all these people. Like after my House of Blues show in March, I was on such a high, and everything that I had lined up, I was like, give me 5 months and I'll have a record deal. And then COVID came, and so I try and look at everything from a positive outlook. Why get gloomy and sad? And so I looked at it more as okay, this is some much needed time off. I've literally been doing this my whole life. Take time and have fun and like be a kid. And then, that month came around and I was like, okay, I'm ready. Like I'm bored. For me, being bored, it fuels my productivity in a weird way. Because I'm tired of being bored, right? So from there, the songs kind of kept coming on. And then I also looked at COVID as I had this really great writing opportunity, this chance to be in a great group of writers in town. And so with COVID, I would not have been able to do that if I was gigging and on the road as much as I was. Right. I really got to dive in it and invest all my time in it. And so I'm really thankful for that too. But boy, do I miss my fans and I miss being out there. And even like we talked about earlier, I wish I could be there and like hug you guys.
Yeah. And we'd love to have you here, and I'm sure we will meet someday.
Yeah.
Person, whether it's there or here. We'd love to see you on a radio tour. We'd love to, have you play in front of some fans here in the Northeast.
I would love that.
We do. We set up those shows. We make it happen. Of course, just like with you right now with the COVID, this is what we're doing.
Right.
You're there. I'm here. Deb is there. So it's like, it's just, but I think there's a good thing that comes out of this where artists like yourself can really think about what you're doing and maybe perfect a few things, whether it's, work on some new material or maybe just work on you as a person to make yourself even better. I think some of the good things that came out of this quarantine or is coming out of this quarantine.
For sure. And I feel like everything happens for a reason, you know?
Absolutely.
So hopefully it's for a good reason.
I was going to say that you're getting a break now, but probably because when all of this does finally settle down and you actually are getting out there, you're going to be nonstop. So
and one of the things that people told me was like my mindset on the whole thing was, when in your life are you gonna literally be forced to stay home and do nothing? Like at it all the time that you don't get to do that.
Yeah.
When is it like socially acceptable to gain 5 pounds?
Or the COVID-19, whichever comes your way.
This will never happen again.
Right.
So.
No, seriously, and you're so young that this will be such a small part of your whole career and your whole life. So embrace it. I guess I know it's kind of hard because you are full of energy and you do want to get out there, but really do embrace that.
Right.
So,
well, I appreciate that.
Oh, did you say your family? Did I hear you say at some point they were from California?
No, I'm from Florida.
Oh, Florida. That's what it was. Florida. Okay.
Yeah. I'm from Orlando, so I grew up not too far from the beach and from Disney. Which was a really fun childhood.
Oh yeah.
Did you ever have the opportunity to work at Disney at all? Seeing you were
okay. So speaking of that, no, because I'm too damn tall, too tall to be Disney princess. But believe me, I tried.
Yeah.
All I wanted to do was be Elsa. Because I literally can't. Like before I got the bangs, because this is new, I could have been Elsa easy peasy. And I waited till I could turn 18 for one, because that's like when you had to wait. But then I saw the height requirement and it was like 5'6", and I just
I got to beat by 4 inches. Can't do it.
Nope. Yeah. I as much as I wish I could, I couldn't.
Tell me, you were did you host a podcast?
Oh yeah, not really. I partnered with this media company, and I did like a Nashville bus. So we vlogged the whole experience of me moving to Nashville and some of the triumphs and the losses of the whole experience. So that's what I did, and then I interviewed some people during CMA Fest.
Oh, excellent! Excellent.
Yeah, it was a fun experience.
Did you play? Do you perform anywhere during CMA Fest?
Yeah, I perform everywhere. I honestly I don't get sleeper and any breaks, and I love it. I love being that crazy during CMA Fest. And what's cool is I actually became a CMA member this year. That was one of my big goals, was releasing music. And so hopefully this coming year, 2021, I'll be able to do some of the CMA stages.
Nice.
So yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah,
well, we'll be there.
Absolutely. Man, I tell you, you just, I think you've got the whole package. And we were listening to some of your music before you came on.
Yeah.
A little bit. It's just, you rock, girl.
Thanks.
Then I scrolled across and I came across the video of, was it To Make You Feel My Love?
Oh, yeah, by Adele.
Yeah, Adele, or even Garth did that back in the day as well. And it was like, and it was like, wow. It was just, you go from, you're on stage or rocking in one video, then I said, scrolled across, and there you were doing To Make You Feel My Love. And I went, that is just, when you can have that variation of going from a lot of energy and rocking the stage to,
Well, that was a big, thank you so much for that. That was a big issue for me for a while, because I grew up, I had my first real gig when I was like 10, 11. And at the time I was writing originals, and I was trying to prove myself and show that I wasn't just this normal person. And so I found at a very young age early on that the slow originals weren't going to make the cut for people to remember you. The ones that were fun and upbeat were how you're going to grab people's attention. And so for me as a writer, I'm automatically drawn to writing upbeat stuff. And that's not like, most people aren't like that. And so for me, I was writing all these upbeat stuff, but my team and my producer was like, okay, well, where's the variety? And so I've always said that I'm a fan of just any good music. And so I really got into Bonnie Raitt and, Patty Griffin and Griffiths. I'm totally blanking, but and Jewel and all these just see that.
Yeah, I don't know. That happened on one of our last podcasts too.
Well, it's funny. It hasn't been live on Facebook, so maybe that's the way.
Everything's fine.
Yeah, no, we're live.
Sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight. That's all. We're good. We're good.
Yeah.
It's your captain speaking.
Cool.
Are you performing anywhere at all now in Nashville? Because I know there are some venues that are open.
Yeah, so I do play in Nashville, but I just found when I first moved here, that was like one of the things I really strive to do was perform in Nashville and, do the writers rounds. And I didn't ever want to do Broadway, but I found that for me, I would do the show and I would have to play for like 6 hours and not take a break. And I would play to drunk people that wouldn't remember me the next day. And I just, I found I was working even harder than I would, and I wasn't having as much fun. And the whole reason that I was doing those shows was to get my name out there, and these people weren't going to remember me the next day. So I've realized, okay, why not see the world? Why not get out? Go to these towns where you've never been, so it's cool for you, and you're just meeting people all over the world instead of just being in Nashville. Right. And so that's been kind of my thing. Like I one big shift for me was that I finally kind of came to the conclusion that the typical way of making it is not my way of making it. And so I've just
that's really good though.
Yeah. But I think that took a lot for me to realize that. About a year of being in Nashville for me to realize that. Yeah. And so, if a show in Nashville comes up, I would love to. I'd love to do shows in Tennessee. But the normal, Nashville way just hasn't been a thing for me. But other than that, outside of Nashville, I've been gigging quite a lot. I was in Gatlinburg, and then I was just in Orlando this past week, and then I head back to Florida this week too for some shows. So I've really been all over. I've been really fortunate.
So how are you getting these shows? Are you booking them yourself?
Yeah.
You just call up and say, hey, I'm coming to town. I'd like to play at your venue.
You have no idea. Yes. So I told myself a couple, like when I first moved to town, that one of my goals was that I wanted to stop playing like bars. Obviously I do, just in Florida and to keep my name out there. Cause I wouldn't be where I am without those places. So it's kind of a different scene when I come and play, but I really wanted to stop doing that as much. And so I found all these fairs and festivals, and I literally would like DM them, or I'd find their general info phone number and I would call, or I would do whatever I could. And sure enough, one by one, they slowly started trying to take a chance on me. Wow. And that's how I got it.
And once your name gets out there, somebody tells somebody else who tells somebody else. Yeah. Say, hey, you got to check out this Bailey Callahan. She rocks. You're going to start getting those gigs.
Yeah. And, and once one person caught on board, then you had that as leverage for the other ones. And then, two hopped on board, and then you could use those two for leverage and so on and so forth. So it really did. It was a really great experience to learn how to do that. Very stressful for sure. But
I bet.
It was fun though.
Yeah, well, you're a strong woman, and I don't know if I could get on the phone and take no for an answer or be pushed away, and I'm sure that happens every once in a while. But you're so persistent until you get the gig, which is why not? That's awesome.
You have to be.
Thank you. Well, I was really living on my own, and so there wasn't any other option. So
you got to pay the bills, right?
Yeah. So at that point, I was like, I don't want a retail job. I'm gonna do what I can, and try and see the world.
let me ask you this. What do you think you would be doing if you weren't being a musician, a singer, songwriter? What do you think you would be doing right now?
I might be an athlete, or I, as far as like the normality of like my life, I would probably, I don't know. I feel like I have so much knowledge of the music industry that I've learned so much at such an early age, and I've continuously I'm continuously learning. And so I think that I would just want to kind of offer advice and assistance to someone that's like trying to make it. So maybe like an artist consultant, I think. You know,
that. Yeah.
On that note, what's the best advice you've ever been given?
What's the best advice I've ever been given? I don't know the best advice that I've ever been. Oh, okay. It's funny. I swear, I literally just got this tattooed today. My grandma wrote me a note and she said, "Don't let the world change you."
There you go. Let's see the tattoo. Put it up again. Let's see your
tattoo.
tattoo.
I literally like just got it. It says, "Don't let." It's kind of like all smeared because it's in a bandage thing.
Yeah, no, exactly.
But it says, "Don't let the world change you."
Is that your first tattoo?
No. It's so funny. I was so afraid of tattoos. Like after my back surgery, I was I don't know if it maybe just like I was in that kind of pain before, and I didn't want to ever put myself through pain again. But I wanted a tattoo so bad. I was just so afraid of the idea of the needle. And when my first single was called Homemade, and so it's about my hometown and like the appreciation of where I come from. And so I told myself that when my next single came out, I would get it. And so I got that. If you can see it.
Oh yeah.
I got that. And from there, I like growing up, I always knew that I wanted this guitar on my forearm. I had it like henna tattoos of it. Like when I opened up for Hunter Hayes when I was like 14, I had like a henna guitar on my forearm. And so when I got to headline House of Blues, that's when everything just kind of changed in my life. And I was like, so I got, it's like really hard. It's like,
I know. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I know you have a guitar because you do what you do. And if you look, I don't know if you can see mine or not, but let's see here. Oh,
yeah, I see a little bit. What is it?
It's a microphone because, oh man, I can't get in front of the camera here. It's hard to.
I love how I'm like twisting my head.
I could kind of see it. But.
Yeah. So it's, it symbolizes what we do.
Right. And it's cool too, because like when I play guitar, like my forearm, like shows to me, so it's kind of fun.
And like Ronnie Dunn, it's cowboy on his forearm.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a cool one. That's a cool one.
So you have the guitar with you.
I do.
What do you think, Deb?
Oh, I think we definitely need to hear a song.
Absolutely. What can you play for us here, Bailey?
Well, I mean, you don't have to ask me twice. I'm gonna play the new single called "State of Mind."
All right.
Alrighty. Y'all ready?
We're ready.
We are ready.
Cool. Sweet child of mine, rolling out, pedal down, westbound windshield, painting up a sunset sky. No looking back, I don't need to. My past in the rear view. Love has a price, so roll of the dice, taking 1 mile at a time. Hey baby, would you say we meet up on that California shoreline? You're mine. Baby, call me crazy, but you're making me change my state of mind. Ooh, you know what to do now. How you smiling at me like a James Dean movie scene. I'll be genuine, Marilyn, fueling your adrenaline, make you sweep me off my feet. Let's go, no hesitating, no don't. Keep me waiting, make me stay, your little runaway. You know you wanna play my game. crazy, but you're making me change my state of mind. Yeah, you're making me change my state of mind.
Wow.
Ooh.
That's what it's about, girl.
Yeah.
You rock it. You just rock.
It did.
You hear female
yeah.
artist.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. You got a little sass, you got it moving, you got you got the, like I said before, the whole package with that. So,
you guys are so nice. Thank you.
you're so welcome. So tell us a little bit about the song itself.
Yeah, so I found that I got really inspired by different places that I went. Back in December, I went on a trip to New York and I went to California, and I was so inspired by both places. And when I went to California, I did a big trip. Like I went to Napa, Tahoe, Reno, which is not in California, but like, pretty close. And, I really just went everywhere. And so I was so inspired by that trip, I wanted to write a song about it. And so to sum it up, the song is about like life, love, and locations.
I get it now. It goes with state of mind.
Yeah, exactly.
See, being a songwriter, you got to be creative like that. So you take a title, or you take all these ingredients, and you must have to come up with some sort of a title, and there it is, state of mind. You put it all together. Bam. Done.
Well, I liked it because it was a play on words. It was, not only like a way of thinking, but like also state. So, yeah.
Do you have a favorite song that you like to perform?
Of my own, or just
anything in general? Is there a favorite song that when you get on stage that you just love to perform?
My favorite song lately has been "You and I" by Lady Gaga.
Yep. Very
Are you familiar with that one?
Yep. Very
Love
cool.
that song.
If you could go to if you could open a show for any artist right now, who would it be? I know you have a lot of big Eric Church. There you go.
Yeah, love some Eric Church.
Yeah, and he's coming out with a new single. And
yes,
and I think I've heard it. I'm pretty sure I have. And Stick That in Your Country song was good, but it kind of has attitude. So, but this new song is really cool. And one thing, I don't know if you've noticed this or not, Deb and Bailey, Eric Church has kind of changed his look a little bit.
Yes, I saw a few pictures.
There anymore, and he's not wearing the the baseball cap.
Yeah,
I know. Eric Church to me is like oddly attractive in all the ways. So he can do whatever and I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there for sure.
Yeah. For sure. But so I'm trying to do like the girl version of that,
Yeah, why not?
Well, I found that, not to, I'm probably going to give away so much. I'm just so excited. But I found for me that there's like two sides of my artistry. There's the rock side. And then there's like the very singer-songwriter side. And so I was trying to plan for my next step after this release. And I knew that I wanted to do something more than just a single. And with an album, you want to make it sound cohesive all the way around. But I didn't know if I wanted to I didn't know if I wanted to combine the two. I wanted to kind of let them stand alone on their own. And so there's something really exciting that we're doing for the next album where it's almost going to be like an A side and a B side. I can't give away too much, but so.
Well, you'll have to keep us posted here and there. So we'll get little drips of information.
What? Let me ask you, Bailey. What advice would you give somebody wanting to pursue a career similar to what you have done?
I swear, I really wish down the road that someone asked me to be on a panel to talk about this, because I could talk about this forever. I would say there's going to be a lot of people that tell you no, right? And just believe in yourself, I think, is the biggest thing. But then also for me, I was really age discriminated for a long time, and people were never themselves around me when I was, 15. I was always viewed as a 15-year-old that came to town. And when I moved here, I was I'm 18. I can vote. I can smoke if I want to, whatever. And I just was so eager to do any and everything I could. And I think for me, the day that you finally stop caring what other people think, you can't force it, but the day that you stop caring is the most powerful moment of your career.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but you being so young when you you moved to Nashville, you had those feelings. I would assume that you were worried about what everybody else thought about you at first. Now,
I was.
Yeah. Now you.
So for me, I just really wanted to be Taylor Swift when I was younger. And everybody was like, well, you're not Taylor Swift, you're Bailey Callahan. And I was like, no, like I want to be Taylor Swift. And I never like understood that. And so I ended up putting out a record when I was 14, but I recorded it when I was like 12. And when that record came out, I hated it because it wasn't me. It wasn't what I wanted. And at the time of the recording process, I just wanted to be Taylor Swift. And so I vowed from that moment forward, I was going to figure out who I was and my music and what I had to say. And, you know, as you grow, it constantly changes. But I think that there's at least some kind of constant pattern. And so that's been the biggest thing for me.
Well, everybody has a role model and someone that they look up to and someone that they want to be like, which I really kind of think is important because that's your starting point. And then, like you said, once you realize, well, gee, I'm not Taylor, I'm Bailey, and I'm going to figure out my own sound, then you start to come to terms with who you are and where you're going. So I think it's all good stuff because it helps carve your path. So.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that changed everything for me.
So you are an independent artist. So you are out there marketing yourself and booking your own shows. I have to give a shout out to Music City Media because they have connected us. And I was just wondering how, I know they're great people. I've been talking to Brooke over there and I love her, but how did you come to meet up with Music City Media?
Yeah, so real quick, my laptop's gonna die. So worst case, we'll just walk through my house. I'll give you like a little house tour, and we'll go to my charger. I know, but you didn't think you were gonna get a house tour today.
Nice.
But I got in with Music City Media. One of my I called her like my Mama P for a really long time. And she kind of took me into. Oh, you love my Christmas tree?
Oh my goodness.
That was going to be my next question.
Yes. Oh my gosh, we have so much to talk about. But for me, I got into music. We're actually just gonna. That's what we're gonna do. I got into music with Music City Media. My artist consultant for a really long time was in their same office building, and so they came on, and I've known Kat and Emma and Brooke and all them for so long. Wasn't at the right place in my career to do anything with them until not too long ago, and so they've really just kind of come on and have done everything for me. It's
I don't know if she's still there, if she's just frozen.
I don't know. I think she'll be back in a minute. So, but
no, that's great. Music City Media is a great avenue for independent artists to take path to and work with. They are great people. I've heard nothing but good things about them. So thank you.
Same here. I think, artists like Bailey and a lot of the newer artists, or even Bailey, I guess, we say she's a newer artist, Deb, but is she really? She's been doing this since age 9. She's touring. She was recording at 15. So, yeah, she's young, but I don't know if she's a new artist. She's pretty well established.
Very well established. I was going to say, Bailey, if you can hear us, you'll need to pop out and pop back in again. So.
I'm sure she'll come back, but it's interesting to hear this from the artist and anybody that's listening or watching this right now, or maybe later on when you download it and you're out getting a walk and you want to listen to the podcast, you're thinking about becoming an artist, or, what does it take? It's not an easy job by any means. And, but to have such a positive attitude like she does, and I think that's the attitude you need. But the impression I got was that it was rough in the beginning because she didn't know how to accept everything that was going on. But as she said, and you said, that as you grow, you kind of learn to, just.
Well, you figure out who you are and you figure out where you're going.
Right.
And then you have to figure out you know where you're going and what your end result is supposed to be, or you'd like it to be, but then you have to figure out how to get there. Absolutely. And what's going to be the best way for me to get to that goal.
You know what Bailey's doing right now? She's probably flipping out, running around the house. Here she comes.
doing what I do before the podcast each week.
Hang on. Here we go. There you
Yeah.
are.
Oh my gosh, guys. And my laptop didn't even die. I accidentally unplugged the Wi-Fi.
Well, now we know. She did say she wasn't social media guru, so your technology and everything else.
You know, your laptop is a 100% when you start an interview, and then somehow it goes down to 4% in 30 minutes.
I'm going to move everybody around here. I just want to make this look better here because.
Cool. Sorry about that.
Stand by. There we go. Now watch this. We'll do a little magic, make it happen, and bring it right back up. Bam.
There
we go. Hey guys. It's been forever since we've talked.
You know, it's been a while. It's been a while. How you been?
You know, my Wi-Fi went out, but we got that fixed. We're good now.
Hey, all right. Before we let you go ahead.
Well,
Deb.
we wanted to hear about the Christmas tree story before we let her go anywhere.
Naturally, honestly, thank you so much for bringing that up because I was talking about that all the time. So I had a little like Halloween party get together, and so I don't have my Halloween costume yet. It was pretty early on. And so all I had was like a Santa hat and my Christmas onesie. And so I put that on, and I just had this, as soon as I zipped up the onesie and the hat came on, this overwhelming sense of happiness just rushed through my body. And I was like, you know what? Christmas tree. And we put it up that night.
You know, it's never too early. Some people will argue that fact, but I was on the air this afternoon. I saw a bit of show prep that said there are more people now that have put their lights up, their trees up earlier than ever. And I
makes me so happy.
So I'm driving home and I'm seeing Christmas lights. I mean, I can't say it's every house, but
but there's quite a few.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I think it just brings a little bit more light into this dark time. And not to sound cheesy, but like I literally, if you met me in person, you would know like I love Christmas so much. And there's a saying in one of the songs on the Grinch where it's, if there's love in your heart and your mind, you will feel like Christmas all the time. And you know, I'll just be chilling. It's been kind of cold and gloomy in Nashville, and my Christmas tree has been the greatest lamp, the greatest. so you know.
That is so cool. Well, one of the things around here, though, is people are starting to put up their Christmas lights because they do want to do it before the snow starts flying. I do know that's part of the reason.
That makes sense.
But if they're up, you might as well put them on.
Exactly.
So,
hey, girl, I agree with you.
Yeah, and Christmas music will make you feel good too.
Always.
Yes. I honestly, like, one of my biggest goals in my career is to have like a Christmas album that's like all I want for Christmas is you. Like I want to be. That sounds so cheesy, but if you knew me, you would know.
It's awesome.
Like,
why not?
Like, you know, the there's like at least I feel like 10 Christmas songs you just put on every year, and I want to have one of those songs. That's my goal.
What's your favorite Christmas song?
There's a new one that came out. It's like Make Christmas the Whole Year Round. Okay. And that's just really like I heard it and it's just so fun and boppy, and I just, you know, that's just really like a way I want to live my life.
I love how energetic and positive you are.
You took the words right out of my mouth, Deb.
Yeah, really, seriously. I can't. So one of the things that we do, Skip mentioned earlier, it might have been before we went live, is we love to bring artists in from Nashville. Usually they're from Nashville, into our community, and we'll put on a showcase, and we just fill a restaurant or a venue or wherever we're at. And we cannot wait to have you come up so that we could do that for you. Because
you're so kind. I would love that. I think you said you could hear me, but when I was talking to Skip earlier, I love meeting people and I love touring, and I've never been in that area, and I just think it'd be a really fun experience overall. So you just tell me when.
Well, you're on the list. As soon as we're allowed to have activity, you know, full activity in our venues, we're getting right on it. Trust me. We're itching ourselves.
Yeah, I know. We definitely need that. We need that really bad, real bad. Hey, so what's your mask look like? Do you got a fancy mask?
So I don't know if you guys saw this, but my kind of nickname is BFC. And so, did you see that? Do you know?
What's the BFC? No. Is the F your middle name?
No.
Oh.
That's
not a good thing.
Biggest freaking Callahan.
Oh, I started thinking something.
No, it is what you're thinking. I really tell people it's up for interpretation. So for the little ones, it's the biggest freaking Callahan. But for me, it's Bailey F and Callahan. And so, someone made me a mask that's BFC, like the logo of that, in rhyme, like in glitter and sparkles. And so that's my mask.
When I was growing up, I'm sorry. When I was growing up, it was Bruce, Effen Springsteen.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
That's the way it was when we were growing up.
Well, when Roll came out, it really was like when I talk about the age discrimination, I was so tired of it. I was like, how do I set myself apart? And I almost did the more, the lesser version of the Miley Cyrus thing. And I just really like wanted to embrace being a little bit more edgy. And who would have thought it would have turned me into who I am today? So
awesome.
It is awesome. And whoever would think that we'd be talking about masks when you think about it. So, the designs now and all the fancy stuff that people are wearing, and, it's all come out of this crazy life that we're in right now. But who would have ever thought that we'd be doing that? It's crazy. Crazy. All right. So Bailey Callahan's been our guest tonight here on SkiP Happens. And Bailey, thank you so much for joining us. I love your energy. Like Deb said, you're so much fun to chat with and to find out more about and to hear your music. And if we have viewers or listeners that want to find out more about you, where can they go?
Sure. You can go to BaileyCallahan.com, Spotify, Apple Music. I'd love to connect with y'all on social media. Instagram is Bailey Callie, just Bailey like the liquor, and then CALI. And I found out too, you can Google me. So I'm sure you can get all my links on Google too.
Oh, yes. I definitely Googled you.
Did you? I know, it's so cool.
Absolutely. I love Google. I love it. And the conversation today, or, these days at the kitchen table, we'll be talking. And if we don't know something, I'll Google it, and your generation obviously knows that. What's that, Skip?
No, that's exact. Oh, I just did it too. I said, you pick up your phone and see it lit up white because they said, hey, Google. Tonight, we were talking about something at the dinner table, and I pick up the phone and go, hey, Google, blah, blah, blah. And,
Well, it's funny hearing you say that. I have a speaker in my room that's from Google, and when you said that, it like turned on. So,
I figured there was something going on back there.
Yeah, I was like, wait, did it light up?
I think you want to say it again.
Hey, Google.
No, I saw you.
Hey, Google, play SkiP Happens.
She gonna do it.
We gotta wait till we're done, and then it will re-air it.
Dude, she's literally in our podcast right now.
No, I love it. It's a Google Home because I used to have a Google Home. Then I switched it up to Alexa, and but they're both like really similar. Just one's Google and the other's Amazon. So yeah. Oh, my Alexa just went off. That's over.
Oh my God.
Mine's gonna go off in the kitchen now.
Can't do anything anymore. It's like
Google and Alexa will be talking to each other on the podcast here.
Yeah. Have you guys seen The Social Dilemma?
Yes.
Yeah, crazy. Another discussion for another time, but definitely a weird social media thing.
Yeah, Deb, did you see that or no?
No, is that a Netflix thing? No, but I think I've heard about it, so it was kind of mentally on my list.
I would highly recommend that you watch it.
Yeah, it makes you
that's the one where you learn that they're tracking you with everything, like your phone.
Yeah. For me, like, it's my life, so what am I going to do at this point? But as someone like my mom definitely got really freaked out from it.
Yeah. Well, it is life, and that's what's going on. There's a lot of that. You just need to be cautious. And even the new iPhone, if I'm not mistaken, I'm not an iPhone guy. To be honest with you, I'm a Android. Well, I'm not, but the phone is. But that's crazy.
What?
Yeah, I know. The new iPhone has they said there's a little red or orange dot that will light up at the top of the phone if one of your apps is listening to you. Wow. You know what it's like? There's a mic open or whatever. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that. I might just have to get the new iPhone.
No,
That'll be the new selling point.
I know, right? It's crazy.
Yeah. All right, Bailey Callahan. I know we kind of got off the beaten path a little bit, but that's what we do. That's why it happens. Just get over it. Everything will be fine. And thank you so much for joining Deb and I here tonight. You are wonderful. We appreciate you, Music City Media. We appreciate them. And you just hanging with us, telling us a lot about you. And when you unplugged the Wi-Fi, Deb and I were chatting just a little bit about what we were doing and what was going on. That
only me.
I called you a new and up and coming artist, but really, even though you are only 20, you're not a new and up and coming artist because you've been, as far as I'm concerned, you're established already. You've been doing this since you were 8 or 9 years old, and you were recording at 15, and now you're 20. I mean, if it wasn't for this quarantine and this COVID, you'd probably have a full album out there. You'd be rocking the airwaves. You'd be doing it. You'd be on all the big stages. So
yeah, it's a weird situation because I've been doing this half my life. So even though I'm just now kind of getting more out there, that could be considered a new up and coming artist. But I already feel like I'm really established. I think I'm just on this path of growing and gaining knowledge.
Exactly. Got you there, Bailey. You're awesome. When we sign off, if you want to hang on for just a couple of minutes,
of course,
just to chat with you before you go and watch the Bachelorette. I know all your roomies are probably going, what's taking her so long?
Oh, not a big deal at all.
I'm surprised they're not banging on your door. Come on, girl, let's go. We got to watch this. But yeah, thank you for joining us tonight. And tell your friends about it. SkiP Happens. And of course, Deb Lamphere, the president and founder of the Country Music Fan Club. And you can find them online. Go ahead, Deb, tell everybody.
Go to my Facebook page, the Country Music Fan Club. So Bailey, actually, if you like our page, my team will definitely like your page if they haven't done so already. This way, when you've got music coming out, we can cross promote and get your information out there, and they'll Instagram it and the whole 9 yards. So
I love it.
And tell everybody about our podcast too. SkiP Happens.
Yes.
Because it does. You just need to get over
it.
That's all. Hey, Bailey, thanks for joining us here tonight. And like I said, hang on there for a minute. But almost an hour out of your busy day and cutting into your bachelorette time. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. And we love your music. Just keep doing what you're doing. And, peace and love. And, put some presents under that Christmas tree, too. It's never too early to do that.
I ordered some today. Don't you worry, SkiP. Thank you very much for having me, and have a great night.
You too. Thanks for joining us. Good night.
Good night, everyone.